We're live.
Hey, I'm here with Mia Magik, and we've just done this epic podcast.
Yeah. Jason said it was his favorite one, just saying.
Well, that's because Jason was mentioned. We talked about Scotland. We talked about dragons and magic.
We did.
Right?
Lots of dragons and magic.
And I'm excited for this one to come out. Last week, I did a podcast a few days ago with Craig Venter, who's the fellow that sequenced the human genome. And we're talking about like deep science type stuff. And this time we're talking about magic.
Yeah, and feminine wisdom and the earth and the elements in my book. This is my book. Woohoo!
Exactly. So we've got just a few minutes. And since Mia's got such great 2010 vision,
I know, I can read everything.
We'll be happy to answer some questions. I just discovered
Mia a few weeks ago. Yay, thank you. Yeah, what's up, all of you mathematician wizard humans that are here on Robert's account? We just wanted to answer a few questions. If y'all have anything that you want to know about magic, you know, you're all speaking a very unique language with this wizard. And so my whole thing is speaking the language of the universe. So we wanted to see if there's any ways that we could just, you know, sprinkle a little fairy dust upon you all over the next couple of minutes before I have to go.
Yeah, because it's such an easy drive back.
Oh my God, I know. I missed the one last week because it took me like 4 hours to get here.
All right, so there's a lot of people on here now. So what questions you guys have? Go ahead and ask away.
I'm like, okay, they don't have any questions, so what questions do we have? Oh, energy shivers after a spontaneous Kundalini activation. Totally right on time. Absolutely what should be happening. It's like little residual ripples that are going to be moving through you. If you have a Kundalini awakening, you're going to be experiencing, it's not something that just happens for like 20 minutes. It's something that's going to keep happening. And you're going to have to like really allow yourself to process it because it's like your whole life is going to change. Okay, entropy and syntropy, I think that's one for you, bro.
Okay, entropy is what people refer to as chaos and sort of randomness. And syntropy would be the opposite of randomness. And I really believe that what we call randomness and entropy is actually just another way to define ignorance. What we think of as a conscious mind is what we know. What we think of as the things we know we don't know would be the subconscious mind, and the things we don't even know that we don't know would be what we call entropy or the unconscious mind. But all of it, I believe, is patterned, and our level of conscious awareness is what determines our ability to perceive the patterned encryptions that God, or what we call the higher self, leaves for us. And I had a great call last night with Randall Carlson, who's going to be on my podcast in a couple of weeks. And we spent about 2 hours talking, and one of the things he said to me that had a profound impact on me, he said, the glory of God is hiding things, and the glory of man is to find them. And I think that that's exactly how we can experience our world around us as a U-inverse, and what we think of as totally random entropy is really just another way of defining where our knowledge ends and our ignorance begins. Yeah. And in science, we don't like to refer to our ignorance so well, so we call it entropy.
Yeah, love that. Oh, they're saying how the pyramid in your visuals in the back looks like my hat. I love that. Okay, good. Yes. Oh, name of my book is Intuition. I know this is backwards, but it looks like this, and you can just Google my name, Mia Magik. We were talking about Scotland, and we were talking about the law of correspondence and this exact mystery that Robert was just sharing about. We were really just talking about how
does look like Philosopher's
Stone. I know, right?
That's so funny.
Well, that's the whole point of conical hats, actually, is that when you take them off, they are the shape of the womb. So it's about being able to put...
Also looks like a vortex.
Yeah, it's about being able to put that portal on top of your head so it extends your energy field so that it's like an antenna, but also is like putting the womb on the mind and not having that direct line to the divine.
It also looks like Gabriel's horn.
Who's Gabriel?
That's a mathematical thing, Gabriel the angel.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Of course you would know about things like that. I'm like, bro, I have no idea what you're talking about. Love it. I really like when people can show me things that I just don't understand because that's just really how we... Ooh, that's a good one. We both love... Y'all, me and Robert have the Taurus abundance code. We love luxurious things and abundance and magic. Do you have any particular, how I would do this? We'll both answer this one. See, that's fun. I get one, he gets one, then we both do one.
You go first. Mm-hmm.
So my personal practice of manifesting abundance has been working with the earth. So everything that I wear, everything you see, I buy everything secondhand down to my restoration hardware furniture. I get everything from Facebook Marketplace. I try to have as low of a carbon footprint as I possibly can, be plastic free. I compost. Like, I'm doing everything I can to live in right relationship and harmony with the earth. And there's a ton of practices for manifesting money and abundance in my book. But how I have done it is by working with the earth element. This is the nature of abundance, how the earth can just grow and have flowers, and how 1,000 forests start in a single acorn. So I've worked really deeply with the earth, creating a really strong, powerful relationship with nature, understanding that my body is my earth element, so tending to the health and the magic in my body. And then also, of course, like really working with the mindset. If you're relating to money from a space of scarcity, if like everything that you're thinking about money, every way that you're spending is like with fear and with scarcity, you're just going to keep perpetuating scarcity. So I've also really done the like playing the game and embodying the archetype of what does the empress or the goddess or the queen feel like to me, and how can I then operate in my relationship to abundance differently. What's your best money hack besides inventing Botox and like horrible chemicals that kill people?
Oh, thank you.
No, he's got the codes unlocked. He knows what he's doing this guy.
You know what? So I would say that it's all in how you feel. The only thing that's real in this, illusion of life that we call is really what we feel. And so if you're feeling abundant and you're feeling gratitude and you're coming at your perception of the world from a perspective of you already have that which you desire to have, because it's already associated with you, it's already a vibrational match to who you are, then it will manifest for you. It will absolutely come into your world. The problem that comes up is that sometimes people will have like a manifestation failure, right? But there's no mistakes in this world.
Yeah.
Even that you probably choose. It's just like in the Matrix when Neo goes to meet with the Oracle, and the Oracle is on the park benches. He says, "Sit down, Neo," and Neo says, "No, I choose to stand." And then like 30 seconds later, he sits down, and she says, "Oh, you decided to sit down?" And he said, "Yeah, I decided to sit down." And then she looks at him funny and he says, "But you knew I was going to decide that too, didn't you?" It's like that with all things. So we have to come to the realization of this. But what I've learned through manifestation is that it's the feeling that I integrate. And when I find that vibrational match to that thing and I'm consistent with that, that becomes a powerful way for that thing to come into my existence. And nowadays things are manifesting instantly, literally instantly. And it's a function of where we are in our cycle of time. But one thing I'll say that you have to be kind of aware of is that if your fear that you're not going to be able to manifest it is actually exceeding your hope that you will, and the vibrational gratitude that you have that will match that energetic signature, then you will not manifest it, because whatever is stronger, the emotion you have of the scarcity and fear, or the hope and the realization of it through gratitude, is going to be what ends up winning.
Yeah.
And it's going to be determining as well the amount of time it takes for you to actually manifest that thing that you desire to manifest.
And I feel like something that Robert's really touching on too is the way that all of the math and all of these amazing languages work is because of conscious vibration, and abundance is also a conscious living vibration that you can attune to, and that's that feeling. Something that I love that you said in the podcast was just like, I wake up every day happy. Like, I feel good every day. That's just how I am as a person. That's operating in a state of abundance. If every day you're waking up and you're like, oh, this fucking sucks, and like I hate everything, then you're operating in a state of scarcity. So what he's telling you guys is like something really practical, but that's also totally vibrational, is literally how you're operating, right? How you feel, and that is either abundant or not, right? Everybody keeps asking me why magic with a K. Magic with a CK is the Crawley magic. I don't really operate with the Crawley magic. That's not really the kind of dark forces that I'm into, but the magic with a K is just a nod to the Ka body, the Egyptian other or higher self, our energetic aura that we work with, and that is sort of like a body double that's here inside of us. So that's the magic with a K.
What do you think about all the new age teachers that claim they're getting their info from alien sources or elders they only have access to?
Interesting question.
I'll let you hit that one first.
Well, I think that honestly, for me, when I see anyone who says, oh, my way is the only way or my way is the best way, then I personally am like, well, then it's not the way for me, because I just don't agree with that. I think every single being is going to get up the mountain a different way. We're all going to the same place, but eagles are going to fly and snakes are going to slither and mountain goats can scale the cliffs and humans are going to take paths. And some of us are going to take different paths than each other. Like, I really believe that we're all going to the same place, and everyone can find their way there through whatever different unique modalities you choose and that resonate with your spirit. So I do think that there are certainly teachers, Barbara Marciniak, who wrote Bringers of the Dawn. I think there are amazing teachers who are connected to interdimensional, extraterrestrial, Pleiadian, Arcturian consciousness. But if anyone is saying like, oh, this is something that only I can access or only I can touch or only I can hear, I just don't believe that. Like, I'm teaching y'all every single day. We talked a lot about in the podcast, like how to connect with the elements and speak to the elements, because everyone can talk to the elements. So that's something that I like to do and I learn from and I get a lot of wisdom from, and I like to share with others how they can do it too, so that there is no middleman between you and the divine. So I personally, I don't know exactly who you are referring to, but I wouldn't really get too caught up in those kinds of teachers, because that's not really what I'm trying to learn from.
Yeah, to me it kind of feels dogmatic.
Yeah.
Like the way that I think you're mentioning it. Now, I will say this. Every person that I meet, I can learn something from. So I feel like living in a world of miracles, right? This mira, which means look, and clay is key, right? So seeing the key is kind of the miracle. And when I think about my world, everything that comes into it, I can see it as a divine communication if I let it. So that can be powerful too. But I don't, like just Mia said, I don't believe that anyone that's claiming they have an exclusivity right on information, to me, feels like Dark Ages to me.
I love this. People are saying, tell us about you being a dragon. Listen to the podcast. We talked all about the dragons in the podcast. Cool. We love all of our friends are on here. What's up to all of our friends? We love all these people. Okay, what else have we got here? Last question, and then, the Hermetic literature. That was one thing we really dove into in the podcast today, because my book is all about the law of correspondence, as above, so below, as within, so without. So how you can really use that to manifest, just like what Robert was saying about that feeling good. When you're feeling the vibration of abundance, that's when abundance comes into your life. That's a very law of correspondence type of perspective on that. Like, everyone loves your voice so much. They're like, oh, Robert, your deep voice. I love that. They're here for it. Oh, this is good. We'll both answer this one and then we'll go. What are you most excited about currently and for the near future?
You go first.
No, you go first.
Okay. What am I most excited? I think I'm most excited about what's happening in the world, and we're coming to a point in time that feels like there's going to be massive shift and change. And I think it's time. It's not that the past was bad.
Yeah.
I think if we let go that's when things will actually catalyze into the new reality. When we start to realize that we're here to learn how to fall in love with this place just as it is, without reservation, that's when the world becomes that place, and that place of miracles, of experience. I think, if you imagine, what if you were the Mother Earth, and every single person on the planet was looking at you thinking, geez, it would be so much better if she was this.
Yeah. That doesn't feel good.
Doesn't feel good, does it? How about we just start learning to accept and love it? And I think that's what I'm most excited about, that realization that people will choose love instead of just being right.
Oh, preach, honey. I love that. They say we look like siblings. Like, I don't like that. We kind of do. I will just piggyback and echo and extend that. I feel most excited for the awakening of humanity. The fact that us two total woo-woo out there like weirdos can be sharing with hundreds of people online and be able to express our stories and our voices and the way that we relate to magic and share that and not get burned or tortured or hung, because like that's what would have happened to us if not that long ago. The last known witch burning was in 1895, and there's been a lot of really horrific hate crimes that have happened since then that haven't been logged as witch burnings. Like, this is a miracle right here, to be able to see the keys of existing in a magical way and having magical conversations. And I feel so grateful for my role that I get to play in reclaiming the witch, which means wise. The word just means wisdom. We all have our own unique wisdom, like we all have our own path up the mountain. And I feel so excited about the fact that we can write books and share beautiful anecdotes and practices and embodiment and ceremony and rituals. And this is something that humanity is craving again. It's something that we are remembering. We're putting ourselves back together again, and we're reclaiming these powers of magic for ourselves. And you know, again, like Robert was saying with Mother Earth, I believe that this mother that we all share, she wants what any good mother wants for her children. She wants them to be fulfilled and happy and healthy, and to come home to her warm embrace as often as possible, to receive all the love she has to give. And I think that's really how this planet and the reawakening goddess consciousness, the feminine aspect of the divine that has been forgotten in dogmatic religion, I think that's really what she wants for and from us, and that I think that a lot of us in our community, we're doing a really great job of returning home to within ourselves and guiding others and being beacons and lighthouses for those who are still lost in the storm. So I feel really excited about
Totally agree. And you know, one of the things I think I've come to the, I guess, realization of as well is that no one on this planet, I believe in this concept of a U inverse. The things that you judge are the things you attract. So let's say you want to fix a lot of things that you're not happy with in the world. All that will happen is you'll end up seeing more of those things that need fixing. And I think we've got kind of the instructions backwards. Right? And I really believe that if we can learn to love and accept and realize that, you know, I did a post this morning where I said that darkness is not the absence of light, it's the absorption of light. And actually, that's not just a concept, right? That's actually a fact. Because if you look at a color wheel, the color wheel will have a reflected color, and it will also have an absorbed color. The color of this carpet in here is a tan color, but it's probably like a pale blue if you were to look at its absorption spectrum. So this idea that darkness is not the absence of light is just like saying that evil is not the absence of good. So if there's no good, is all that's left the prima materia only evil? I don't think so, right? So when you start thinking of that in that sense, you start realizing that good and evil are just reflection and absorption characteristics of each other from a philosophical perspective. So then we can start to realize that there's people in the world that don't realize that they have darkness within them. Those are the ones that I'm most concerned about, to be honest. The people that believe they have no darkness are the ones that end up doing the most heinous things. And if you think that you're not in control, or that other people in the world are in control over you, then you haven't yet realized the reason why you're here. Because you're here to be sovereign. You're in control. It's your you inverse. Nobody is going to take, everyone that has experiences happen to them, it's not what happens to you that you really experience, is what happens to you. What happens to you is what you believe happened to you.
The story you make of it.
That's the story you make of it. You know, one of the great parts about this podcast was the experience that Mia told about a personal story when she was 16 years old that is super profound. And I can't wait for you guys to hear it, but you have to watch the podcast for it, because it's all about the narrative that we tell ourselves.
Yeah, totally.
Thank you, guys. Great to see you.
Peace and magic, y'all. Bless all
Love to all of you.
Wizardry and witchery and all of your mathematics.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.